Welcome everyone to Discover the Musical Modes on the Native American Style Flute. I am Amy, and tonight we are going to be covering Phrygian. So I'll turn on a soundtrack right now so we can get it in our ears, and then we'll take a look at behind the scenes and under the hood. So I'm going to This is the track we're going to hear first. Okay. And here we go, Phrygian. Let's talk about this mode. This is a very unusual mode from, if you are used to hearing the major scale, our ears are kind of, they perk up like, ooh, we're going somewhere over to the Far East maybe. And what I want to talk about a little bit is how Phrygian is constructed. So what we've got here is the Aeolian mode, which is the parent mode of Phrygian. So we know this as our natural minor. And take a look, the one interval, the one difference between its parent and itself is the lowered 2, or the flatted 2. This gives it a half step, and that's really its flagship sound, is because of that particular interval. Okay, and when we look at it, here is the structure of the mode. It's got the root note, and then it's got that amazing half step. Can't say enough about that half step. It is the, as I say, mystery inducing interval, the lowered 2, the half step from the root, and it differs from all the other modes yet covered in the book and the course. It creates a sense of suspense, and people can relate to it. That first opening thing in the movie Jaws, da 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 da, so you know something's happening, the suspense. So that lowered 2 really gives a real sense of suspense, even a hint of danger, and it's often used in movies. It can be almost unsettling to, it's like new terrain to our ears. And it's used extensively. This particular mode is used extensively in the Middle East, Spain, especially flamenco music. We're going to be focusing today on what is called the Andalusia cadence. And that's a sequence that's lots of fun to play to. And I've got a track for you, and we're going to play around with that. So Phrygian it's a stunning mode. It's enchanting, it's seductive even. And what we see here is, because of the way the sequence works, it can be very awkward trying to play it on the flute. It can be played in 3 positions, but one of them in particular is not awkward, and that's what we're going to be focusing on here. One thing to say about this though is when we see this combination of intervals, what is necessary in terms of arranging is that I had to start on a position that we have not looked at yet. So this is different, and Phrygian dominant in another video is going to use this. So I just want to really take a look here. Now, if you read Nakai tab, or if you know how to read music in general, you know that this is an A sharp, okay? And of course it's a fingering position as opposed to a pitch, except for in one key. But so this is actually going to be our starting place for the exercises here. However, the 2, that half step, is the flavor note of the mode, and we hang around a lot on 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 in Phrygian. So we're going to go through and watch this sequence first with our animation. So that was position A sharp, we're calling it. And we're going to get right into the diamond as we've done in other videos. What I'm going to do is play a track that I've recorded already using this method, and then I'm going to play the track without me playing so you can play along. But if you'd like to, you can play along right here to this as we move through Phrygian in position A sharp on the flute. This is Ami Sarasvati playing the Phrygian mode, diamond method. I am starting on the A sharp position on an F sharp flute. Play the 1, add the 5, add the 3, in this position, so I'm adding the other pentatonic intervals. Listen to that half step to the 2. Any other available notes in the mode. Returning to just the pentatonic intervals. Returning to 1, 3, 5. Returning to just the 1, 5. Returning to just the 1. So there we have it. I'm going to play it again without me playing so you can hear it. Okay, and I'll talk you through it. Go ahead, find your 1, tonal center. Add your 5, primary chord 1, this is a 3 minor relative to that, and 5, 1, 3, 5. It's too high, so we'll go ahead. Add the other pentatonics, really leaning into that flavor note 2. Add the 4 and the 7 now, play up and down the scale. Letting go of the 4 and 7, back to the pentatonic. 1, 3, 5. One, 5. Find your 1. Okay, good. Land on that. Okay, great. We're going to be looking at the other 2 positions with Phrygian. However, we're going to come back to a sequence here, and I want to really just show you, I'm sure you can see it, but just to point it out. So we don't play this at all. We don't touch that, and if we just know that, we can get that in our fingers, then this is nice. It's a straight shot, and I mean, when you think of this to this, it's kind of an easy transition too. So go ahead and just play those 2 back and forth for a moment, just so you can feel that. Go ahead and bounce with your ring finger on the bottom. Okay, and that's how that is. We are going to move through the animations in the other 2 positions so that it's on our course recording here, and then we're going to come back and really work with this particular position. Okay, and I actually do have a backing track, so I'm going to put it on. Let's stop that, it's repeating. I'm going to turn that on just so you can, and then I'll have the fingering here for you, but this will be in position 2, Phrygian, and so just so you can experience it a little bit. Going to 1-5. Okay, we're going to move on to the 1-3-5. This is where it starts to get kind of awkward. So this is why we love that A sharp position, but go ahead. 1, 3, 5. It can be done. You do have the 8. You can add your full arpeggio now. 1, 3, 5, 8. Here are all the pentatonic intervals. And now we're adding the 4 and the 7. You can hear that. Back to the pentatonic intervals. Back to the arpeggio, 1, 3, 5, 8. One, 3, 5. One, 5. Go ahead, return to your root. I'm going to stop the track. Okay, here we go. Okay, so you can see it can be done. It's definitely can be done, but that is the that is the issue. There's just a lot of cross fingering there. And now we notice that in this mode, that 1, 3, 5, that primary chord, well, that takes on a different characteristic because we're really wanting to hear that flatted 2 to keep us with our ears in Phrygian. Because if that's the flavor note, that's the one difference between Aeolian and Phrygian. If you play the 1, 3, 5 and these other intervals, the ear will think it'll look for Aeolian. So it's really it's so close to Aeolian, and of course the minor, but that 2 really defines Phrygian. Okay, we're going to move right on to 3 so we can get through our different animations, and then we're going to come on back as I mentioned. So now we do have a couple of notes underneath, and so that's good to know about. We've got that low 5 and a minor 7. So you can work with this. It's not quite as cross-fingery as 2, but it's still quite a bit. Okay. So now I want to just take a look at some of the music that's in this and talk about the music, and then we're going to get into this Andalusia cadence. So in this mode, what you see is, if you listen to some of the music in it, there's a lot of ornamentation, like I was saying, you know, bounce on this note. There's a lot of also neighboring notes. Let's take a look at this piece, for example. You see there's a lot of neighboring notes, a lot of notes next to. That is characteristic of Phrygian and Phrygian dominant. So you rarely see, you know, a huge jump, like we're talking in the other modes about 1-3-5, 1-3-5, and you could hear it. You were really missing the 2. So this kind of going back and forth, sort of meandering back and forth between intervals is very characteristic of this mode. Okay, so let's do this. Go ahead and before we jump into the Andalusia cadence, go ahead and jump into the chat and any comments on the 3 positions. I will have a moment here to check out that chat, so go ahead and how does it sound? Anything that's occurred to you as you just walk through this in 3 different ways. Yeah. Okay. So I think everyone, they're fun. They are fun. It's different, right? Yeah, it's different. Okay. What I'd like to do is talk about this Andalusia cadence. So the Andalusia cadence is built on, yes, rich and mysterious. Yep, thanks for that. Like the 2nd position. Okay, great. All right. So this, I arranged this Andalusia cadence seed, and what it is we have to sort of suspend a little bit of rabbit hole music theory for a second and apply it to what we've just really learned. And what it is I'm saying that this is 1, our A sharp 1, and the Andalusia cadence is a descending sequence that essentially, based on what, you know, position mode and blah 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 you're talking about, but what I want you to think about is just this 4 3 2 1, 4 3 2 1. Okay, so hopefully you're with me so far on this. Oopsie. And what I did here is, you see this, okay, here and here and here and here. And what we want to do is really focus on, when we're in this kind of this beat, these 4 beats, this is the note that we're really focusing on, but we can start to play with it a little bit and extend it and extend it and extend it. What I'm going to do is play it first so you can kind of see it as you hear it. And then what I did is I took the 4, 3 2 1, and I looped it a whole bunch of times so that you can try it out. And we'll do that together. So let me get to that. Here we go. You can hear the seed sequence. Now, okay, and then it repeats a whole bunch of times. But I'm going to repeat it so that you can really see this. So we get that 4, 3, 2, 1, and then 4, 5, 4, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 2, 1. So really focusing on that first note as being primary note. So when you get to this on your own, when we're looping this, what I want you to do is focus on when we're on the 4, when we're here, play around quite a bit with 4, 5, 4, 3, 4. When we're on 3, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3. When we're on 2, 2, 3, 2, 1, and so on. So a lot of the notes next to is what to do in this position. So let's play that again, and you can see the intervals here. So we're really playing notes next to when we're playing like the main note, and then just kind of move up and down a little bit, neighboring notes, and then kind of land on the next one and land on the next one. So here it is again, so you can see it one more time, or hear it one more time. Now it expands. Expands a little more. And then simplified. And now it's just going to loop here. So find yourself on 4. And then 3. Get your bearings. Now try it out. Maybe play it twice. 2, 2, 1. Okay. Good. So another way to approach it is go 4, 3, 4, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 2. So something like this. Working these intervals. All right, that's going to continue to play. I'm going to jump up to the full. So you can try it here. 4, 5, 4. Always just return back to that 4, 3, 2, 1. So you've got your seed, sequence. Nice. Okay, and I'll go one more round. And I'll stop the track. Okay, so because we have this straight shot, even though it's an unusual thing we're not quite used to, we can really use this to start to understand how to get fancy with the Andalusia cadence and then simplify it at the same time. So you can go 4, 3, 2, 1, and then 4, detail 3, detail 2, detail 1, and then go back to something really simple. Okay. All right, so Rebecca says, I really like the Andalusia cadence seed, fun and beautiful. It is. When you just play with this for, 10 minutes or so, you really kind of get used to how easy this particular sequence is. So it's been a lot of fun to develop this and to find it on the flute. Okay, there are a couple more pieces in here, and I just want to point them out and also give you some references here. So you see this Makam world, this Makam chord. This, if you look this up, there's a little, oh, not mama. There we go. There's a ton of music in this, with this reference here. So feel free to check out that world and have some fun finding some music. One other one that I did to get us used to Phrygian was Phrygian echoes. So just take a look at the intervals for a moment. Okay, so you can see it's simple. It's really, really simple. And I'm going to play it for you, and I'd like you to just follow along visually. Here we go. So you saw how simple that is. So when we're working with Phrygian, getting to know Phrygian, one great thing to do is to focus quite a bit on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6, like once in the song kind of thing. And then, but weaving it with neighboring notes, neighboring notes, neighboring notes, and really recognizing this sound. One more look at this here. So when we're here and we're using the keyboard illustration just so we can see it very easily, okay? What we've got here is the 1 to 2, that half step that we're really exploring. Then we have the whole step, a whole step, a whole step. And look at that, we have this other half step right here. So we've got 2 of those, and then a whole step and a whole step into this. So it's kind of interesting as you look at all the different modes. In case you hadn't noticed, in the sequence, they're all W's, except there are always 2 half steps. All right, there are always 2 half steps. They land in different places based on what mode it is. So it's just a really unique sound. And stop the share and go ahead and put in the chat what you thought of that. If it started to make sense to you as we were going through some of the recordings, and as you're looking at it, let me hear how that's looking for you. And as you're thinking about this mode, and especially that last one, yeah, good, the Andalusia cadence, that just wonderful, wonderful. You know, you hear it on guitar, you can look it up and play along with it too on Excellent. Okay, good. You can play along to it as you look at different backing tracks. Okay. One thing I want to point out, okay, great. Everyone's enjoying that seed cadence. In Phrygian echoes, did you hear there was a lot of rests? There's the notes, and then there's the silence. And so this idea that we're always in a duet with silence, and to really start to appreciate silence and its role. And what I also want to show you in the book is I added this so that we could play Phrygian and Phrygian dominant in that A sharp position. Okay, I added this column so that you could see, say you have an F sharp flute. Okay, and then this is the key of the flute. If you go from here across, you can see if you're playing in that position A sharp, that's where it correlates, of course. But say you're playing on a D flute and you want to play Andalusia cadence. Well, your root note is going to be F sharp. Okay, that's that position. So that is there for you, that particular column, so that you can do this. If you look at YouTube or other places, you can really see there's quite a lot of Andalusia cadence, and then what you can do is match it with your flute in that A sharp position. That is Phrygian, and I'm glad you enjoyed it. Keep in mind the Andalusia cadence, look it up, and you can also, if you play any guitar, you have guitar players in your life, or even just that single note, da, 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 you can really explore this mode. So that concludes our video for Phrygian, and I thank you all for being here, and I will see you in the next video.